from a rusty old drum.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cover Star Finals 2026.
Restlessness I find.
Some all the promises they're giving ya, just know it will vanish before your very eyes.
Grasp it like lightning. Grasp it like lightning.
And I love that you made the song your whole.
The passion was there.
I would pay to see you perform on a huge international stage.
And you did a fantastic job at that.
Be with me, by the minute, we ruin it, 'cause every hour, wherever he goes.
If you don't get on, so they want you silly.
Not leaving, not
Here
leaving.
we come, see me is here all day. Not leaving, in a purple haze. I'll be here today, I'm gone tomorrow. I'll never mend my
Hi, I am Emiliana Beechan and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, WESN Content Capital.
WESN.
Here we go again. That is literally the words of one of my colleagues in response to the news that we have a state of emergency. The question, of course, is exactly what do we intend to accomplish with this one? Because one of the issues we have with state of emergencies is it's not meant to be a long-term solution. It's a state of emergency, which means for a temporary period, we suspend normal constitutional procedures and rights in order to settle and stabilize the situation, in order to fix something now for now, deal with an emergency, not necessarily to utilize this as the standard operating procedure for policing and anti-crime strategy in this country. But when you consider the fact that we had a state of emergency declared in December 30th, 2024, or December 31st, then we had a state of emergency for the back half of last year, and now we are in March. We have gone maybe 4 years within the last 4 months, within the last 14 months. And I might be overestimating things with that. Or not being under a state of emergency. 3 to 4 months within the last 14 months, we haven't been under a state of emergency. So it has been declared. This time we didn't even get a press conference apparently. There's a press release that came out last night, if we could, yeah. Statement by the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bisesa. So, met with the Chief of the Defense Staff, and the rest of the National Security Council, after the previous state of emergency, there was an increase in violent criminal activity, which, I mean, one of the murder stories that came out just last night is an example of this. When you kind of read some of the narratives with regards to the murder last night, I believe in Arima, and how it has shocked the community. The report is that residents described the attack as brazen. And that kind of consensus or that kind of consideration, when criminals are acting especially aggressive and brazen, going after someone that, as far as everyone is aware, is not involved in anything, as well as seeing the multiple shootings that we've had in the last few days, I understand on a very basic level the motivation before the state of emergency. The problem is, again, is this a long-term measure, right? Also, let's go back to the press briefing. If you go to the third paragraph from the bottom, the National Security Council was informed that intelligence recently gathered indicates credible threats to attack police officers, prison officers, and other members of the security and legal services. Now, my problem with this is not that I want to disbelieve the government, but rather we've heard this before. This is quite literally the third time the current administration has brought this out in the declaration of an SOE. The first time was 2011. The second time was in the middle of last year after the election. Well, just before the middle of last year, after the election. And now this time, they're combining the reasonings for the last SOE and the last SOE extension into one. This is, according to the Prime Minister, in line with her warning that they will be met with I guess this is the follow-up if the criminal gangs don't behave themselves. But as a friend of mine pointed out, why does it seem as though the police could only police under an SOE? One of the things that I find interesting in this whole situation is that, technically speaking, an SOE is not at the will of the Prime Minister. In fact, the Prime Minister announced, technically, this is the proper procedure, that the President of Trinidad and Tobago, Christine Kangaloo, declared a state of public emergency with effect from today. It's not interesting that the same low-level PNM functionary, which apparently is going to do everything she can to work against you, is going to be willing to declare a state of emergency, no muss, no fuss. Now, I don't know to what extent is our laws really poorly written, and literally she's just there to say the words. Because what happens if she decided to not say the words, to not make the declaration? What would have happened? Dare I ask? So, as far as I'm aware, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the low-level PNM functionary, I guess, had to agree. Ain't that something? Had to agree to undertake what is essentially the only anti-crime strategy the government has right now. Because the social legislation was state of emergency light. Let's be frank. That's what it was, state of emergency light. Now, granted, I think the president is a reasonable person, is a reasonable woman, is seeing the violence, and what are you going to do? You're going to tell the government no for the sake of politics? You're going to try to circumvent the government for the sake of politics? That technically might not go very well, huh? If she decided not to say anything, not to declare it, if she decided to disagree. Because again, this is a weird procedural situation where I do believe, I wish we could change our constitutional government structure, head of state, etc., etc. But we're stuck with what we have until we get someone who we could trust and who has the political cachet to make major changes and hopefully do it responsibly. Credible intelligence indicating planned attacks on police officers, prison officers, members of the legal service. I saw something this morning, interesting enough, with regards to prison officers at least. Apparently they have been there was some stuff online, complaints about not getting access to firearms once again. It was a rush situation this morning, but it goes back now to, hey, remember when they were having the year or so run up to the elections, they had this thing about stand your ground legislation. Notice how we don't really care about that much anymore, you know? I mean, I understand survivors of home invasions, they would have liked to have firearms to defend themselves, but more often than not, what we get are murder victims who don't survive. I believe in this case it could have been very much an ambush attack where he was just shot in his driveway. There was no desire to rob him of anything, apparently. It was literally just to kill him. I mean, given the fact that he was shot in his driveway, they might not even have gotten out of their car. If he had a firearm, he might not have had a chance to draw it. So now we're under another state of emergency. Think about it. This administration has been operating under a state of emergency for more months than it has been in government. Now, doesn't seem that there's going to be a curfew, doesn't seem that there's going to be anything more than what has already been done. So what do we know based on past experiences? Long rifles and the like, automatic rifles. You know, the guns that are supposed to be illegal anyway, just stick a pin on that. The criminals might look to put those in hiding, put those on ice once again, and limit themselves to handguns, which are more concealable. Generally speaking, by being under state of emergency so often, yes, we will suppress potentially, hopefully, based on the last 2-3 state of emergencies, we suppress the level of violence. We won't stop it. But then also, at what point when the criminals decide to test things? Because make no mistake, without an SOE, without a state of emergency, it is still illegal to be in a gang. It is still illegal to have illegal firearms. I mean, I feel like I need to say it. We kind of forget it. Illegal firearms, that's a crime just possessing it. Wonder how come we can't arrest people for that? It's still illegal to have certain firearms, regardless of your standing with society. Automatic rifles, as far as I'm aware, are just outright illegal. So you don't even need to investigate proof of ownership. No, once you see it, you can confiscate it. Oh, by the way, murder. Murder is still a crime, whether or not we have a state of emergency. So, as the Prime Minister and others, I mean, when the PNM introduced the first state of emergency at the end of 24, there was a lot of criticisms. A lot of criticisms. One of them was the opposition leader, then opposition leader, Kamala Prasad, the current Prime Minister, criticized then Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley for not being at the press conference. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I don't know if she was at the press conference the first time when the commissioner announced it. I can't remember who was at the press conference the second time when they renewed it. But now we didn't even have a press conference. We just get a social media post. So if Dr. Keith Rowley was wrong for not being at the press conference for the declaration of a state of emergency a year and a half ago, what am I supposed to make of the Prime Minister not even, I mean, I guess this is just another Tuesday, right? Literally, this is just another Tuesday. What is, oh, it's Tuesday? Oh, I guess we're going to get a state of emergency because it's Tuesday. Nothing out of the ordinary with that. Also, the then opposition leader, now Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, criticized Dr. Crowley and his government's inability to address crime. Calling it a shameless political gimmick and a band-aid solution in an election year. Now, does it need to be an election year for it to be a band-aid solution? Because we haven't seen any sort of actual long-term measures to go along with the previous states of emergencies. So why is this one going to be any different? In fact, as much as the Minister of Defense would have liked to make it, and then in hindsight, the Attorney General would have liked to make it seem as though the social programs and the long-term considerations of the state of emergency of the Zoso bill was an important consideration. Let's not forget, Minister of Defense Wayne Stage said, oh, 2 to 3 years, 5 years tops. Nowhere near enough time for social programs to get any significant headway in order to make a significant impact in the trends of young men and, to some extent, young women actively involving themselves, choosing a life of crime, being influenced, if maybe they feel forced, maybe they have no hope, whatever it is, having programs to try to show young people a different way, show them that they're not forgotten, that they're not abandoned, show them some level of support, and it has to be maintained. But no, the stated purpose of the Zoso bill was to arrest gangsters. And now, apparently, the stated purpose of the state of emergency, again, is to arrest gangsters. By the way, I'm starting to think state of emergencies are not state of emergencies. First of all, if you have it more often than not, usually a state of emergency means we press the panic button and we utilize reserves. We get all of the law enforcement officers out. There's no vacation, which means that people are going to be worn down. We might use up our resources. We might have to use extra financial resources, spend extra money, right? Bring up some expenditure, buy more supplies. You know, we might have to use our vehicles more, have to spend more maintenance because they're being utilized more aggressively. This is not something you can maintain indefinitely. It's just going to cost too much. In theory, if you're actually treating it like an emergency. If you're just treating it like a way to suspend rights so you could shortcut people's constitutional rights in order to undertake police action in a rather lazy, unprofessional manner, well, I mean, I guess, you know, it is what it is. But I like to think of state of emergencies no longer being about emergencies. I think state of emergencies really are criminal gang government rental programs. Because what happens is, they lock up these individuals, alleged gang members, alleged gang leaders, right? They don't actually charge them on anything half the time. Preventative detention orders or whatever mechanism they use, and then whenever these special powers end, they have to release them. Ain't that something? They have to release them. There were such criminals, but we don't have the capacity to investigate them, to get enough evidence, to charge them and keep them in prison. And some of them have been under detention for months. It's not like days. No. After months to try to get evidence, to keep these guys locked up because apparently they're so dangerous. We fail at that. Then they sue the state, and at some point in time, 10 years or so in the future, 10 plus years, some of these cases took, the state has to give judgment to the plaintiffs, that is to say, these individuals who were detained under an SOE, but the detention comes back and apparently seems to be unjustifiable, so they get a few $100,000, and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's rent a gangster. What? You're on the streets now, we'll rent you for a few months to keep you from doing whatever it is we don't want you to be doing. Allegedly crime. It's not as though the state could prove it. And isn't that what policing is all about when it comes to crime fighting? Yes, there's more to policing than just the hard anti-crime measures. But isn't that within the overall aspect of policing? Isn't, investigating, gathering evidence, arresting, charging, prosecuting, and convicting, ain't that the whole criminal justice system's point? But somehow we kind of, you see that gathering evidence thing? We seem to be like really bad at that. Even with a state of emergency where we don't need warrants. Think about it, huh? With special powers, we still can't get evidence on people with illegal guns and people being members of a gang. Think about that. Ain't that something? All this police, with all of these professed experts in policing and the expertise of a whole multiple set of ministers, not just one minister of national security. We have a minister of justice, we have a minister of national defense, we have a minister of homeland security. All of these, we have a defense force, a coast guard, an air guard. I don't even know why we still have an air guard or what they do. All of this apparent expertise. We have a strategic services agency, strategic security, whatever the SSA's anagram is. All of this intelligence gathering agencies. The current commissioner of police, that's his background. He wears a Punisher patch that he got from a friend, apparently. Conducting joint operations, which probably means he just read documents, passed along information, and stayed behind the desk. But hey, it is what it is. All of this so-called ability, seniority, experience, years of experience, and blah, 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 blah. The whole executive, the National Security Council, the Defense Force staff, leadership, all of this. How many gangsters have we actually arrested and convicted? Just to be in a gang. Cell Block 13 was men on remand. Some of the guys in Tetron are on remand. They haven't been convicted or anything yet. This is not the kind of precedent we should be setting in a free society, but it is what it is. Remember, when the Americans did it, people were upset. I just saw it as an extension of the mindset of some of our citizens, but apparently, if someone else says it's bad. But when we do it ourselves, even though the scale is smaller, when we do it ourselves, somehow it's fine. Meanwhile, just the timing couldn't have been better. The family of Achille Charles gets $1.15 million for landmark bail rights breach. To just put a rubber stamp on the criminal justice system is broken. 1.15 million. And to be honest, given his story, I wonder if that is not enough. Because I don't think that's enough to incentivize the state to fix the problem. It's more like, I will just pay the fee. You know, they want to give us the merit points and have harsh fines. Well, the state should get harsh fines. What is good for the population? Road safety, right? We care about road safety, so we should have harsh fines in order to incentivize people to not break the Road Traffic Act. Cool. There should be harsh fines on the state in terms of some of these lawsuits so that the state won't play willy-nilly with the rights of individuals. But I guess, you know what? People don't care. If it happens to you, then you would care, but then it would be too late. And now there's a whole thing with regards to, I'll just wrap up with this. The former Commissioner of Police, McDonald Jacobs, has apparently spoken out, or his affidavit has been leaked to the press, so he's responded with regards to the Brent Thomas matter. Apparently saying that it would have had to have been someone in the Ministry of National Security, either the minister himself or the permanent secretary, because the transnational crime unit, basically, it was through them that they went after Brent Thomas, right? There were multiple investigations that were consolidated, apparently, and then Suzette Martin apparently got information because they were looking into the whole Guy-driven FUL matter. So for whatever reason, that led them down a rabbit hole to look at Brent Thomas. Then Superintendent Suzette Martin, apparently she got wind that Brent Thomas was trying to escape the jurisdiction. And somehow, McDonald Jacobs has said that Brent Thomas agreed to return to Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, it goes so far as to saying that then Superintendent Martin apparently had information that he intended to flee the country, but also somehow, while they had him under surveillance, somehow he eluded surveillance, got on a plane and went to Barbados. I mean, we only have one airport, just by the way. If you think someone is going to flee the country, wouldn't it behoove you, if this is the timeline, we think he's going to flee the country, let's have him under surveillance. You know what else we should maybe have under surveillance? I don't know, the one airport on Trinidad. If you want to go anywhere, unless he decided to go by boat. But you know what? I think it's fair to say that it won't be unreasonable to put some surveillance assets on the one airport in Trinidad. So already this story seems like either nonsense or a wonderful display of ineptitude, which is why we are in a state of emergency right now. And as I said, apparently he had volunteered to return to Trinidad, thus negating the procedure under the process of extradition. Except as far as I'm aware, he was taken by surprise when he was in Barbados, right? So I guess they started the process, but they didn't finish it because he was picked up, I believe, if memory serves correct, by Barbadian police. Oh, by the way, there's also that issue where both our government and the Barbadian government decided not to concess certain aspects of the case, and the court called it a kidnapping. So I would like to know exactly what was the actual events. I wonder if someone lied to McDonald Jacob again in this matter. Oh yes, also the file went missing. All of this is very convenient. Or he volunteered to come back. Yeah, but the Barbadian government didn't even want to try to fight it. So exactly how is it that there was no breach in extradition procedure, but the Barbadian government decided to not fight a civilian lawsuit on the matter? A civil lawsuit, sorry. This whole thing reeks, by the way, of either unprofessionalism, incompetence, or corruption. I don't know what it is. But this whole thing reeks. And more than one situation has caused me to question. I'm not questioning McDonald Jacobs' integrity. I think he has integrity. My question is, he's giving us his version of events. He wasn't the lead investigative officer. He was reported to. Basically, he could only tell us what he was told. This is the police service that now has once again special powers. But there's too many examples of, is it that we don't know what we're doing? Which you have to juxtapose that with the fact that the special victims units investigating some of the most complex and difficult crimes, somehow they make headway. But you see, trying to deal with gang violence, somehow the police units involved in that aspect, they don't have a clue. Or maybe we need better legislation in order to fix things in the criminal justice system. But you know what? That's asking too much of parliamentarians. It's a lot easier to just declare an SOE. It's only the next administration that's going to have to pay off the lawsuits, right? The partnership didn't have to technically pay off most of those lawsuits, as far as I remember. And the current administration, they managed to wait it out. But hey, let's end things there. If we're not going to utilize the SOE to then institute long-term fixes, all it is a plaster on a sore. Not a sore, a gaping wound. A gaping wound that's infected and it's not healing on its own. But it's fine. Let's just put another plaster on it and hope it goes away, apparently. Well, your fairy god uncle, the United States, I guess they are no longer blowing up drug smuggling boats and we'll have to deal with it ourselves. Maybe we'll get something from that conference, but I don't know. At some point, we have to get our act together. One would think. They already have the estimated by the government thousands of guns illegally in this country already. I don't think they need to smuggle any more to utilize, to have enough firepower to kill people. Oh, by the way, law enforcement agency ammunition keeps getting found in certain crimes. I wonder why. All right, I have vented enough. People are dying, but who cares, right? I have vented enough. Let's take a break. We're going to switch gears significantly and speak about something a lot more positive. Stay tuned. This is Talking About the WSN. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I am Emiliana Beechan, and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, WESN Content Capital.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
Now you don't need to register nothing. You don't need. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
We believe in different criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploited the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
The fluid retention occurs in the lungs and they get short of breath, particularly with exertion. And it's a particularly condition where when lying down, they feel short of breath and have to use a lot of pillows. That's a sign that the shortness of breath might be due to heart failure.
The home of Caribbean content is growing and we welcome you to be a part of the #1 platform for young personalities who are driven to make a positive impact in society. as we continue to reach every corner of Trinidad and Tobago through our daily broadcasts, our social media pages, or through our 75+ digital billboards across the nation. Contact us to learn about our competitive rates via marketing at wesncc.com or call us at 628-5835. WESN Content Capital, television with a difference.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond
wanna-
to me. Respond to me. How you would respond to me?
The first question I'll ask is why.
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
In the Barataria skating ring. Test of
Jump back out there, boy. Come on, you are the style, you are the swagger. Crazy. Show about that man, boy.
Already told you I cannot make it. We have plans for that day, right? Close back my gate, man. Just leave my gate wide open.
brings us a climatic showdown.
Again, you one more week to deal with Byron. 1 week. I don't want to hear. I realize she's a serious youth, man. Right now, my landlord, real training me. I could really do that money right now. No? Yeah, well, did the time fit a jump out right? You don't know.
Tips the lives of many.
Lock down the back. Yeah, he's a man go lock down the front. Hey, watch out. The DC thing, boy, dog, boy.
together. For one goal. To win. Junior going crazy. That's fresh.
Very rarely do I get a chance to dip my toe into the film industry. Now, we did have Storm Salter quite some time ago with the Jamaican movie Sprinter. We also interviewed the lead actor from Hero, the story of Ulrich Cross, a local, I guess you could say, extraordinary citizen, man of the soil. But now, I actually get both the director and the lead actor of the upcoming local production that's fresh. And this, I mean, just based on the size of the cast, it does not seem like some film school project with a few friends, you know, sitting around saying, let's do something in 50 minutes. This is a full-length film, and I'm happy to have some of the important stakeholders, creators of this artistic endeavor, because there's something about the film industry and local efforts to break through into it that gets me excited. So joining me, we have the director, Roger Brewster, to your right, and right next to me, Ronaldo Andrews, the lead actor of That's Fresh. Gentlemen, welcome to Talking Points.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm glad for you to have us here today.
Mr. Andrews, well, let's go straight into it. I think one of the things in TNT, now we know that we have some, you know, sons and daughters of the soil abroad doing acting, maybe they do theater. You know, they have one guy in the MCU from Tobago that I hope everyone at least knows because he has a famous, locally famous brother, just say it, right? But with regards to the film industry, how did you get into this? Because I saw you on the preview there, and let's just say the delivery, it didn't look as though you were like a guy that just walked off the street and said, hey, I want to do some acting.
Yeah, we're going, right? I am accustomed skating. Well, good morning, first to begin with, right? I skating like maybe 20-something years. And I accustomed seeing Roger Community Complex, but I know that he does do movies. So I just do something like, I say, boy, let me go and try him and see if he go make a movie. But then I only have like youths around me, so I know, boy, I see bigger people acting, and it's his first movie now, so I like, I'm still going to try him out and see what it is go on. So I went and asked him, I said, Roger, why don't you make a roller skating movie? You watch me, a roller skating movie, why? He think, I go talk to you because I know that you always also, right? So I was like, all right. So I go home, I ended up coming back in the skating ring for about 2 weeks because I was living in Sandow side. So I ended up doing so, and I come down like this the third week, and he see me here, boy, you know how long I looking for you? So I was like, for what? Because my mind, how he done give me the look already, I done saying like, he not gonna do that. He said, boy, you can get these skaters, boy, I feel like I could make that movie. I was like, you serious? Yeah, now yeah, you organize the skaters, and then after, he would have organized a meeting to hold the people and them to find out more about them now. So I was like, all right, I will see what I can do. So we ended up having a meeting. The first meeting, it didn't look too good at all now, because you see, I had to get a certain amount of skaters, which we didn't have. So it's like about 16, and I know it's 20-something people it's supposed to have. So Mr. Robert, which is the person who sponsored the movie, I was like, don't worry yourself, next week, it will be better. So when next week reached, we had, how much people? 20-something people. So he was comfortable then.
I really was impressed.
Yeah.
Because the first week, because I do not know the skaters. Hi, good morning everyone again. I'm Roger Brewster. So I didn't have the skaters on them. He would more know the skaters on them. So I leave he to get the skaters on them, and I will interview them and see how it goes from there. And the first day, as he said, the meeting, you know, what is this? You asked me to make a movie about these skaters. I was like, he feel bad. I see it. He said, you're going. Give me next week. Give me next week. I gave him next week. And when I come there, I was shocked to see the place so full. So we have so much as skaters now, we have to pick and choose now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And, okay, so let's backtrack quite a bit. Because it's not like we have this big film industry in Trinidad and we're pumping out all these movies. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot in the arts that we find is missing, right? And we know regionally they have people that are trying to contribute, whether in the international industry or locally, to get something going here. And it's not just film, you know, it's also music and other mediums of visual arts and the like. But what got you involved into doing this? Because this is not your first film.
No, no, this is not my first film. So what happened, I did a movie called Limbo, right? And on the set, I watched the director and everybody, and I saying, well, this thing real nice. I was excited. So after I say, you know what, let me try something, you know, let me see what I can do, right? Because the director was telling me, I act in the movie, Mr. Brewster, take 10 baby steps, and you only have me making that 10 baby steps every minute. And I asked him, I said, sir, because I didn't want to be pushy. I said, why don't you just mark this spot here? All right, Brewster, yes, we'll mark the spot. And I wonder, I said, but this man's a big director. So he marked the spot, and instead of making it 10 baby steps, I just know I have to stop right there. So from there, I challenge myself. I make a movie called Boko, where we are the longest local, I would say, longest movie ever shown in Movie Town, 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Right.
Right? And with that now, I say, yeah, man, I can do it. And that's how my company, Grimrock Family, I have a company, we just look for actors. Every day again, like 10, 15 actors. And I just feel good because at the end of the run, it's the youths calling me. Right? And with the youths and them, I just try to guide them. So when all you come to act, he could tell you, and we have our meeting, I just talk to them first. I don't just come up with talking about the movie and this and all. I want to let them know, listen to me. When all you come here, who they smoke, I don't want no smoking. Leave that outside. And I talk to them who have children. If you have a girl and you have a child, try and mind your child. You know, I try to put good things in their head now. So they come like they're doing a class with me about life.
Now, Mr. Andrews, so you were a skater that just went up like apparently many others, Mr. Brewster, say, hey, why don't you do a movie about skating? And you ended up in the lead of the movie. Yeah. So what was that like? Because it's one thing for a director to have a role, find an unknown, because in Sprinter, that's what they did. They got an unknown young man in Jamaica to be the lead. You didn't really, I mean, yes, you could have, once you find out that he never acted before, you might think, all right, he's not as strong as the others, but he looked like a legitimate actor, right?
Could I cut you, sir? Could I cut you? 1 minute, and you can continue. He was really not the lead actor. Yeah. Oh. The lead actor was, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
a little youth man.
Right.
And he would be a supporting actor.
Right.
But when I get in touch with the youth man family, the uncle who taking care of him say, you have to give me $15,000. And I say, come on, I'm trying to help you. And this little youth man today, I feeling so bad.
Right.
He have him on the street now, selling water, smoking weed, and I'm sorry I lost that soul. So I didn't have no choice now after that. I know he was kind of pushing for the lead actor. But I say, you know what? I hand it over to him.
So, I mean, what was that like? Because I assumed, I don't know, have you ever like acted in a school play or something at least? A commercial?
And I was in a music video, but it wasn't really no talking in the music video, just like action. So I never really had the opportunity to like, what do we know? So I did my first interview because being on a music video, you don't really have to go interview because it's the main people who singing. So I just was like acting. So when I get found that I Star, he told me going to be real plenty work and just now the race go start and I really see the race now because I was doubting it. You remember, this is my first experience, so I can't really say, I know for sure this is going to happen, I know for sure that's going to happen, but when he told me, as he always tell me, I wear under my wing, right? So he come like my father right now. he always telling me the right thing. He always on my case, and I know why. Because look, I here today, I was the lead actor, and I feel proud about myself because I went up, I bring in plenty people. And he was always say, you just be calm, just be cool. Things go happen. And I've seen it happening now.
I mean, that's one of the things I find interesting with a lot of local projects, right? You rarely need a lot to get it off the ground because we don't have the support systems already in place. We don't have all of the extra subcontractors and the institutional experience. And we don't have the acting schools and we don't have the pipelines, you know. You can't go and say, hey, let me go see this. Now, granted, they do have people learning acting in UE and I believe UTT or Costat, right? But like on some level, it's still an immature industry, and you are trying to like more or less get to the film spot.
To be honest, I don't want to put on the UE actors, but my last movie, I now wrap up their name choices. A UE actor came, he get in touch with me, I tell him come, and when he came to act, I have to take time off to show he how to act, and he went that school. So he was acting like he really acting, stiff like a robot. I said, no, calm yourself. And
I think it's the difference between theater and film.
Yes, that theater acting he was doing. There can't be any block acting so I have to train, he take time off now to train him in a different way. And he tell me, well, Mr. Brewster, but I come to your school.
So this is the thing, and this is where I was going, because it's almost like you have to ask, and usually for any, you know, new industry, when it starts to pick up, there are going to be people who have to kind of figure it out.
Yes.
Right?
It come like them train here a different way, and Roger had to train here the next way.
No, but in the case of, okay, you train the actors, but then now, to what extent was there someone to train you? Because it's not just about the acting, but the directing and the production design, but then also the awareness to be like, hey, you can't be in no funny business while we have this project, because if something happened to you, everybody will lose out. It is not just the actor, one actor's project. You know, it is the entire cast and crew that is, you know, trying to work to build something.
Bad name, like, you know, for instance, you do something out there and you give us a bad name because what is going on. Pull a movie one time.
No, but imagine you halfway through a movie and a main supporting actor do something stupid, get arrested. And now you don't have him for weeks. I mean, it might mess up your schedule.
Yeah, because I come like you had to start over with his partner or do something to make sure that he
I would spoil it because it have something what happened in this movie itself.
Right.
Where one of the actors they had to leave to go away and he didn't get a chance to come back to Trinidad. And now I have to find a way because I fast like that. I could just do something like that.
Don't sell it out.
Don't sell it out. But that's the thing I want to ask, like, because I've seen this before, right? When you're building something, right? Either I mean, I haven't necessarily seen the group of people, but I've seen it where you have the one individual that is like, hey, listen, I am determined to figure this out, right? To get all the knowledge. What I don't know, we'll find a way. You know, how was that process for you?
Well, it was really, I wouldn't say hard because I just be all the cast and them friends. Like first thing you need to do, right? Get them comfortable on the set. Be the friend, right? Find out what happened because sometimes you might call somebody out to act today and they have nothing home to eat. Sometimes the girls might not have money to get a child to go to school. So I just find out what they want and make it comfortable. And long time make you comfortable, I can let you do anything after. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the whole idea is to be the cast and them friends, make them comfortable on the set, right? Because you can't come out to act and you know your child has nothing to go to school tomorrow and you have no food in your house. So the main thing is sponsors. Long sponsors can help me, I could go far. So this movie, That Fresh, we have Coca-Cola, was part of the sponsor, a man called Mr. Roberts Ricardo, right? He was the head person with Coca-Cola to make this thing happen. And when you have a big sponsor like that, you have to make sure your brand stay good because you don't want to affect our next person brand. And if you affect our next person brand, you'll find nobody don't want to come and do no movie with you because look what you do to this man. I don't want my name these are people have name to uphold.
And it's not like you're doing like a small operation here, because when I'm looking at the preview,
yes,
right? So I can't remember the proper industry term. The trailer. There we go, the trailer.
Yes,
when I'm looking at the trailer, and I'm just looking at the amount of different faces, you know, it's what, like a small project might have like a handful of people, very few locations. No, there's a lot of locations, a lot of different people, and there was a level of authenticity in the delivery, which means that, you know, it's a lot of people who are putting effort into this thing. And I have seen groups online do amateur films, and the delivery is nowhere near, you know, so don't underestimate what this is, folks, just by the way, right? Like, this takes a lot, so the sponsorship has to be important, because the amount of moving cogs in a project like this, I want to reiterate the point for the people at home. Just the trailer alone is telling me this is not some running-mill little small-scale operation. Granted, it's not the Matrix or Star Wars level of budget, right? But this is a film. This has the size and scope of a film.
And it have a lot to learn in the movie too, because it have big message. Because as the lead actor here, he was against the wall because he landlord, he have no money to pay his rent, and the landlord gave him 1 more week to put the act together, right? And he lined with some youngsters, he partners, and them telling him, hey, you need to supply me with these fellas and focus here, come back home. Remember in the trailer, he said, come back home, here is your home, right? So he don't know what to do, right? Because these fellas want him to go on a robbery to get money, and he want to go and skate, so he had all about the place. So when you come to watch a movie, you'll see the choices you make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the movie storyline.
Yes,
folks.
you'll see
the tournament in the rings now. So I come like I watching that. I go take too long to get the money in the sitting ring.
Yeah.
But if I go on that shot there, I'll get that money one time.
I mean, this is the stereotypical Hollywood kind of, we have a competition, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things though, having a cast this big, you never really acted before, so acting is a very intimate thing. So having a director that's trying to facilitate you as much as possible, right? Make you be in the right mind space, have no worries, be stress-free. That's one aspect.
Relax.
Right, get you relaxed. But then now you have to go in front of a whole set of people and do this thing. What was that like? Because I know for me...
Because it has certain times like you're uncomfortable because
yes,
you can't watch the camera, and when you turn your head, you're watching everybody watching you. So it'll be like, God, but you're uncomfortable. I'll be like, Roger, let that person move from me. So I go be comfortable, I go more focused because I just, like everybody watching me straight in my eye. I can't focus. I can't watch the camera, and I catch myself watching the camera. Roger, I see that one time, cut. Cut one time.
but here's what happened, right? When we were taping the competition, we have over 100 people we invite. You realize one of people, right?
To be the audience.
Yes.
Yes.
Over 100. So when the competition starts now, in the movie, the first set of people who had to come and skate, the girl come up to me shaking like this. She said, Mr. Brewster, we could go after. I said, no, this is in the script, but you had to go first. I said, come. I called the team. I said, always come here every day and skate. I said, just tune off everybody, and all the picture like always just skating like a regular day.
I mean, were they able to do it?
Yeah, they do it.
Because I have experience being on stage and singing in front of people before the show, right? I mean, being in front of a camera, there's nobody here, but it took some time for me to get used to. But being on stage, I remember there was one night we were doing a small event. The audience is like right there. My hand wouldn't stop shaking. I have the mic in my hand. I'm trying to sing a little solo in the mic in my hand. And my hand just doing this. So it reached a point where I was like, well, it's not stopping, so I just gonna keep going. What am I supposed to do, right? And like you, it's a lot easier when you have an audience that's blacked out and you can't see that they're looking at you. Like, I don't want you. But here's the funny part. When they don't look at you, sometimes that's also the trippy out too. I was like, am I boring you? But how do you feel when you discover these people, young people, maybe not so young people, and you're like, hey, come and be in a movie, like Ronaldo here, and then they actually go in front of a camera and they deliver?
They really impressed me because I thought I'd be going through some headache, because when I started watch, when we was doing the little dry run and thing, you know, As I do the clipboarders, the slayboarders, they're freezing up.
Yeah.
You know, I say, we ain't started tape yet, we just practice. So I was like, asking myself, I make a mistake here, boy? Because his body going to spend, and I don't vow with Coca-Cola and Mr. Roberts and them, we're going to make this happen, you know? And I feel good now because they really bring it home. Everybody played a part, even Ronaldo here, he do play a big part in this movie, right? And everybody bring it home. Everybody bring it home. I salute everybody who acting that fresh. They're excited. You know, yesterday Movie Town put up our movie on the platform. So everybody call, hey, you know, so I feel nice because I just want to be here for the youth. I want to turn around Trinidad and Tobago because I believe we could do it because skating now getting big. Now with that 3 skating ring in Trinidad and Tobago. And with that 1 in Tobago and 3 in Trinidad. So the youths, they're lost and they're looking for something. When they come in skating ring, I see in all different kind of youths up there now. It's a little line because they see little girls around and whatever. And with this movie now, it will do wonder.
Because, I mean, just a small anecdote. You know, Disney had this little hockey movie called The Mighty Ducks.
Yes, I remember that.
Right, and they even have now a professional team.
Yeah.
And what they say is for a lot of ice hockey professional players now, because it wasn't that widespread of a sport, the movie introduced them to the sport. In TNT, I find that there's a lot we don't know that's going on. I didn't know they had so many skating rinks. I only knew of maybe 1. Right? I didn't know that there were multiple. Someone had to tell me there was a bowling alley, a bowling rink. I can't even remember where it is, right?
Yeah, I know about it, but I don't even know.
Exactly. And now to say that you're going to have a movie, but it's not just a Hollywood movie somewhere in the States. No, it's a local movie with something that's going on locally. It's almost a 2-for-1. Because not only are you now introducing skating to our local population, as in to say, local skating, right?
Yes.
An activity. But you're also doing a movie. So to those that are involved in the movie, and even to those that watch the movie, it's like, hey, a local movie, not just some foreign facsimile of what Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to be.
Yes, yes. And we have the dialect, just like how we're speaking here, fully Trinidadian, right? And that is the downfall of Trinidad movie. Everybody is want to talk perfect in front of the camera. And as the camera turns, they start back talking like a Trinidadian. You know, keep the dialect. The Jamaican have it, and you know, the Nigerian have it. Keep the dialect, man.
I mean, listen, some might say in our daily television industry, some of the news presenters, you know, they kind of want to sound, they want to be professional so bad they stop sounding Trini. And it's like, I don't, is this, you know, BBC News or is this, you know, Trinidad and Tobago News?
Because if the Americans and them, they want to hear, they like how we speak. So, you know, they want to hear the Trinidad news, the Trinidad dialect, they want to hear that. So let me keep it and let me push our culture. Okay. So in this movie too, I get a lot of break to the singers and them. So we have people like Cassie singing, we have Ola Tunje, we have a fellow called Jim West. So I given the local artists.
So you have acting,
yes,
production design, on location shoots, you know, costumes, soundtrack.
Somebody might have a jello and they might ask them, put it in the movie now. Right?
Product.
Yeah. So it's a lot of doors opening for everybody when they come into.
All right. So before I go to the future, that's fresh. It's in Movie Town right now, correct?
Yes. Well, it will be showing the 12th of March.
Right.
Right. And most likely it will be showing in Twin City, but I didn't fully get the okay from Twin City yet. We still have paperwork. Right. But the 12th of March will be showing. The 14th of March I'll be speaking in Movie Town, but the 12th will be the opening. Right. The 14th of March will have people like Miss Lezian from ICNTT. I have to just say this. Miss Lezian from ICNTT give full support. Right. She always there for any filmmakers. Right. She does help, and the best I could say, she does do the best she could do.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have this film out now. Ronaldo, you've been in one film. So now the question is, my boy, What's the plans for the acting career? What's the next step you're thinking?
Part 2.
Part 2? No. You know what they say, right? If you just keep making the same film, you're going to get stereotyped as the skating guy, huh?
Yeah. But I want to do different things. I don't want to just be skating. I want to do, well, anything Roger had to do. I want to be a part of everything.
Well, part 2, I done write part 2 already, and it's a good idea. I would like to share it too. What happened?
Give it all away.
No, I ain't giving it all away.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened? It have skating ring in Barbados, Greendot, and all them things. So I want to do now a Caribbean competition where I could go in Barbados and tape a scene, in Greendot and tape a scene. And when you look so, it's a Caribbean.
I mean, it seems obvious, but that's what makes it genius.
Yes, you understand?
That's what makes it genius.
Yes, because right now I have somebody from Jamaica, I hope you're listening, right? He want to see the movie bad. He say, hey, we are rare skaters in Jamaica, this and that, you know? So I get in contact with 1 or 2 skaters in different Caribbean, and I say, you know what, we will make a Caribbean movie. So in this competition now, we're not staging it. Who win for real? Really win. And I bring a professional judge. You understand what I'm doing now? So if Trinidadian lost it, right?
Yeah, we lost.
We lost.
But every other part, we had to go in them country and beat them, right?
Yeah.
So I guess now, basically, this, sorry, the nerd in me is like, oh, wait, you're going to do a movie without a predetermined outcome.
Yes.
Which means your close of your movie now, you're going to have to kind of adjust on the fly. But I'll say this, Mr. Brewster,
yes, sir.
He mentioned another idea he had. And he was speaking about it with a certain level of detail that gave me a lot of confidence that, hey, this guy kind of knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He kind of knows how to connect the dots. So just that alone makes me curious as to how that's going to work out, because it's not every day you hear about a film that's going to attempt an approach like that. And those types of films are usually ones that, you know, they have that unique extra when you watch it.
Which film are you talking about?
Well, no, the sequel, to say that you're gonna go and you're not gonna have a predetermined end.
Yes.
I'm like, wow.
Yes, because yes, we want to bring in real judge to judge these guys and them. So the fellas that are entering the competition for real have to really work. Because if you fall long thing, we're not going to put no edit or nothing. If you understand.
But then it's also a film, right? So on some of them are going to have to at least deliver a few lines, right?
No, the lines and thing will be staged.
I know,
yes.
but you're going to have to get some of the real skaters who weren't in part 1 to now have to act as well.
Well, that's why the other day when I see my friends and them who in my team, I say, no, we had a fight for position now. It's not no handout. I say, as this movie come out, we're going to start a practice. And I say practice till the next movie come out, I'm telling you, because I ain't taking that no licks. I say, you go be comfortable that people coming from different countries and going to beat me. I ain't not taking that. I say every single day. I ain't talking about just one day. I say, you get 1 day for yourself. 1 day for yourself. I say, because I'm not taking no embarrassment that nobody coming in Trinidad and
because you know, you all are the movie skaters now. So then now they were like, hey, it's the movie skaters. They don't really skate. They just,
I tell them we have to keep that position. That is, we come first, we have to stay first. Anytime we get licks,
so for the nation, Grimrock Family Production, it's on the screen, right? You could always email us if you're interested to act, right? We can make anybody an actor in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Just be yourself. That's all. All Trinidadians is actors. Right now we acting. All Trinidadians is actors. And I believe we're one of the best in the world. So if all you're interested, all you come, instead of being on the block, you know, all you put all yourself in trouble, take that same energy on the block and bring it to the screen.
Because that's another thing. We didn't touch on it a lot.
Yeah.
But you deal with a lot of young people who potentially this might be the one constructive thing. I mean, it's a bit of a trope in Hollywood, ironically, right? Yeah. But we see it played out in real life, you know, in certain parts of, you know, North America, Europe. It might be a community pool with a swim team. They had a movie about that. Yes. There might be local basketball courts that just keep the young men off the streets, you know, during the afternoon and the evening. And in this case, this movie, like I said, is a 2-for-1. It's a skating rink. So you have that activity, but also it's a film production company getting young people. And in a way, do you find that this is something I'm sure a lot of people never would have thought they would have had a chance to be a part of, right? So when you come now to them and say, hey, I want you to act in a film. And again, this is not you, a cameraman, and a dog, and a station wagon. This is a whole endeavor, right?
Yes.
So when young people now engage in something this serious, it's like, hold on, this man's serious, and he seriously wanted me to be part of this big thing.
Yeah.
Do you find it causes people to be like, hey, I need to buck up?
Yes, I see a lot, even from Mr. Andrew and all. I see a lot, because what I just do in my contract, if you do certain thing, you could break your contract. So you have to be straight like a pin. So I use my contract to advantage to have the youths and them to stay straight, because they know they don't want to break their contract, and then now they want to be in part 2 or whatever feature film I have. Right? So as I say, I have over, I don't want to lie, over must be 100 and something people waiting to act. And I told them, most of them is youths, I let them know, you can't come by me with no police record. Right? So if they do tomorrow, I call on you, and you bring a police record and thing, and
because you have so many people.
You had to be clean.
And you can't afford now to take a chance on somebody when you have other people wanting the same opportunity. And that chance, if it doesn't work out now, you risk the whole project, the sponsorship, you risk everybody's hopes and dreams. It is an unfortunate situation that you are having to try to essentially keep this whole big thing together. And, you know, there's a lot of projects and endeavors that, you know, and artistic endeavors. Trust me, I know, being on this side on television, I know things could fail very easily.
I think Roger wouldn't have much to say after my experience being in this movie. I will have plenty to say about it, because Roger does be behind me right through. So I know what it is he like from what it is he don't like, right? So I think I will be one of the people in the country to like, I want to go by schools and talk to children and things. Because with this what happening right now, it's not a music video that's going on YouTube, it's bigger than that. So,
but also in a music video, you just show up and like, and then of course half the time, what's the music video about? Rum, girls, cars, and other things that we can't say on one television. Right? Whereas this has a whole arc. It has a whole message. It has how to say, and this is something that a lot of modern films, dare I say, don't do. Like, they forgot the basics of storytelling. You put your main character on an arc, you give him obstacles to overcome. You show how he overcomes it, how he gets better. You know, even if he stumbles, even if whatever happens, right? And you also show it in a way that, hey, young man, young woman out there watching this could be you. This is your life. Because one of the things with all of your ideas is how grounded to me they are. You know, even, okay, skating in the regional event. Well, that's still within the realm of believability. You know, it's not some real grand political, you know, oh my gosh, the Americans are spying on us, or some idea. No, it's a grounded thing. Yes, it's true. And I find that grounded Caribbean films are a good place to start, because, like I said, I've seen a couple others, and you don't have to try and do something fancy like Aliens and all. No, you could interest people because we've never seen ourselves on screen before. You know, in that way.
We have a lot of stories we could tell.
Yes.
Like, I have a film called Papa Bra. It's a nice film. We have a lot of story. I make a movie called Boko.
How many films do you have? I'm curious. Because, folks, this is the first time I've met Mr. Brewster, right? So, how many films do you have?
Well, roughly, I have three. Look, three films I have.
Before That's Fresh.
Okay, I have Get All Before It's Too Late.
Right.
I have Boko. It's 90 minutes. And then I have That Fresh. And then I now finish something called Your Choice with Fighting School. And that one is a big one.
Yeah, like I said, folks, That Fresh is technically 90 minutes, but then it goes on with post-credits content as well. So don't miss out on that, you know. I know a lot of people, they like the post-credit stuff now, bloopers and
That's
and
true.
behind the
They
scenes
want to
and
see
stuff.
that.
Yeah. Right.
Could I just say something
Sure.
about myself? I just want to talk about myself for a little while. What happened? I grew up Pelican Extension Road mover, right? I grew up really hard. My father wasn't around, I know. And in school, I just there following bad company and stuff like that. And lineman on the block. And I used to smoke on by the lineman on the block. And then reality hit me. We're doing with your life. Yes. What you really doing with your life? This is your life. You know what I'm saying? And then my mother always telling me, get work, come off of the block thing. I say, boy, I don't want to make my mother ashamed. I put my act together, I started work and started build myself. I realized every work I work, like I see man with the brains. I had to be telling the boss and them how to do better things. And I say, my wait now, I have real brains. So now, yeah.
Folks, it might sound a bit much, but you know, a lot of you think about your own bosses. And that's all I'll say about that. I have a good boss too. I have a good boss. My boss is great. But yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of people in business that don't really know what they're doing. So and again, I can believe you. I have heard the man speak in a short time. He's got a brain, folks. There are a lot of good ideas. But sorry, I just had to
interject. So right now, before I reached this, I was married. Things was going nice. It didn't work out. You know, we separate, and it hurt me. But the end of the run, here I'll say to people in Trinidad and Tobago, sometime when a door closes, other doors is open, right? The reason why I'm saying that, right? You know, sometimes you married and work and you want to go and damage your woman and burn down your house. Come, guys, it don't make sense. It just ain't work out, right? So it hurt me. I leave my relationship with tears in my eye. But after when I realized God opened, look where I yesterday talking to Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm very happy.
Well, I mean,
you know,
you remind me about me.
Yeah, so at the end of the run.
To be fair, you being on TV is like, it's not really that. You did multiple films, guy, in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, there's not a lot of people that does film in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot of people that be on TV. I'm one of them, right? So I mean, don't knock it in that accomplishment, because again, I would not have expected someone to have just what the scope of the operation looked like and the amount of people that have to buy in, right? That have to commit to this, that have to believe in it. Because how are you going to act in something if you think, this guy, he just fly by night and he have this little Mickey Mouse operation and I just want to be in front of the camera and see myself, and then they come and they kind of deliver some kind of stupid line. Because there are a lot of directors in America, you know, England, well, maybe not England, they tend to do things like, there's a lot of Chinese and Indian productions where, you know, they just roll content out to collect a check. It's not necessarily the best. They're just trying to speed run it to get it out here. But to me, there's a certain level of care in how a lot of the cast is approaching things. And like I said, the ideas that you have, it's not like some little, all right, we have a guy and then he have a skating competition. So he get kicked out of his house, he win the competition, he get any money and that's it. You know, like there's depth and layer. Because he has a good idea. He has a good idea, and the idea is a big idea, and I don't want to spoil what the idea is, and that might be like a future film. But there was so much depth in it. But to also just see you talk about this whole thing, it's very impressive, because again, I think a lot of people might not really be aware of what's going on. How does that make you feel? Have you considered the fact that, yes, I know other countries do film, right? Film is a medium that existed for about 100 years now. But in Trinidad and Tobago, on some level, you're pioneering this thing, right? And the people working with you, like Ronaldo, is pioneering this thing. Because if you don't have good people in these early days, there's no go, right? So for both of y'all, how does that feel? Because y'all are creating, y'all aren't just, look, we're a TV station that's relatively new, right? But there were other TV stations before. There are people with experience in the TV industry, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's not like we have a film industry with people experience in a film industry to say you all just have to, like, you know, take examples and move forward. How does that feel being pioneers in something here in your home country?
Well, to be honest, the word can't come out of my mouth. It feels so great and so good to know, you know, I as a father, not just for my children alone. You know what I mean? For other people. Because how I look at it in Hollywood, they don't care about the actors and them. It's a salary to them, right? I just care about the actors, so it'll be different to me, right? I just make sure you're comfortable, make sure your children and them go to school. In Hollywood, they don't care. Them give you a salary, and you come and act, and that's it, right? So for me, I come like a father to all the actors.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. He's like your second father.
He always come and tell me if I do something wrong. I don't know how he does find out, but he does come and tell me, I know what you're doing so. And you need to listen to me. Calm down yourself. Things go happen just now. Just rock back. So I started to understand now. Because I'll be like, remember I never went through this before. I never come on no station or nothing like that. So this is my first experience. So he said, boy, you just relax yourself, I go show you. And it happening now. So now I relaxed myself. Anything he said to do, I going along with it because I've seen it for myself. And
now, as someone who's been through it, because I'm sure you mentioned the young man that was supposed to be the lead and the father. The uncle. This is something that I've seen in TNT before, just in different other areas, right? Where they kind of overestimate what it is, these big demands, right? And in some cases, it's not overestimation. Some it's just unreasonable, right? So, of course, now they might have a lot of young people. Some of them might underestimate it. Some of them might overestimate it. Some of them might think, oh, this is supposed to catapult me immediately, right? Whereas, as you were told, no, there's a lot of work to do this properly, right? This is not, no, you come, you show up for 5 minutes and you know, you get big money and paychecks. But then, of course, there's the ones that they might say, why you have me doing all this for? With this contract, you trying to scam me? Why you so hard on me? We have to act, what's all of this necessary for? What do you have to say to other young people now? I know that the waiting list might be too long already, but for other young people that, who knows, that might get the bug, that might end up being great actors, to encourage them to be like, hey, listen and trust the process because they have somebody building something here.
I think like it have people, friends, even though they could do something out there, it have friends there's no wanted to reach no way in life. So they will tell you, boy, that don't make no sense, boy. Because he done seen if you go up, you might forget it have friends who is bona fide friends. Them will stay with you, but in your head now, once you get rich, you don't care about here anymore, but it's not like that. It have people that think about their friends and them, but he will have in his head, you might get more girls than me, you might have more jewelry than me, you might be driving a car before me. Let me train up your head and see if you can stay low like the white line like me forever. But if you sit down and take on people, you would not reach nowhere in life.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to elevate yourself, out there and you listen to people, you would not reach nowhere. You will remain right there in that spot.
Could I say something? Excuse me. The roller skating movie, right? A lot of good skaters, we reach out to them, real good skaters, right? And they were like, I don't want to be in that movie. And friends tell friends, nah, don't go in that movie. And you know, all of them regretting it now. People coming up to me and say, boy, Roger, I wanted to come in the movie.
You know something, it's not the youths, you know. As the people who we expect to do that is the people and them who tell them it's boy, or them make no sense, but don't go in that movie.
And the thing is, it's not about abandoning where you come from, but it's about the fact that, look, at some point in time, it doesn't, you're not doing anybody favors to wallow in misery with them.
Yeah.
So, you know, people have to understand, look, at some point, I had to go. I can't stay. I can't be rooted to the spot, and that's basically what you said.
Yes, yes.
You know, I can't just keep doing what I'm doing. You know, and I have a few friends that were able, like you, to have a certain amount of self-awareness on their own and say, hey, I can't be lying on the block. And just kind of...
I want to say something. You know, every week, they're going on in the skating rings and pay the money to go and skate. And just take a little time off to make a movie which you're going to be famous. You don't want to do that. You're going on the skating rings and spending money every single weekend. And when they come to make a movie with you, Roger organizing drinks, you organizing things to eat, You know, it's all of us thinking.
Folks, first of all, I keep getting impressed with the level of production professionalism, because it's like, yeah, contract, pay, drinks, catering, like, this is a whole deal, you know. This is not no amateur hour.
Ask them when they come on set. Even if I have a meeting and all, I have things there to eat and drink. Even if I have a meeting, I have things to eat and drink, because then sometimes somebody comes to tape. I don't know what they eat before they come there.
Right. Yeah.
So it have things here for you to drink, right? But what I'll say, the business people in Trinidad and Tobago, I believe, they're only crying about the crime and the crime and the crime and the crime. I have 100 people under my wings, youths. If I didn't have these people under my wings, what would happen?
Yes.
What would happen? All they had to play a part and help, smaller it is. Because that same little 1,000 or 2,000 you're holding back from me, the same youth them coming and take 10,000 from you. You know, I'm not encouraging that, but they are facts. You understand? So sometimes when I see the filmmakers come and ask for a little support, we're not just asking for your money, we're highlighting your business. Like right now, I could call Coca-Cola. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. And it's just not doing it for itself, because at the end of the day, you're trying to get youth off of the street. All they're trying to stop them and say they have so much killing and all these different things. Roger doing something for them right now. Trying to not only put them in movie, but get them involved in different things.
But also, and this is what I say, when you want to have these social programs, let's break it down as a social program. You have an ongoing operation. It's not like a one-off and then you go your own way and you leave you abandon everybody. And when you're doing it now, you're worried about their well-being. You're worried about, you know, if they could pay their rent, if they have food to eat, right? You're making sure they're taken care of while they're working for you, right? On set, that you know, they're comfortable, they have food and drink. Everything to kind of show professionalism and to get the work done. And then it's off onto the next project again. So this is not a fly-by-night thing. And it's like, well, you know, we only had about 50 sandwiches and we didn't have, and a few bottles of water. And, you know, we didn't have this and we didn't have that. And we ran to this and we ran to that. No, this is a, and when, I want to state it again, because I was a part of an organization, the Love Movement. And they took kids from various homes, right, to put them, to give them an experience to be on stage. Not all of them appreciated it. 1 year especially, I remember, those kids, you know, because once they get used to it and they see that you're consistent, they buy in to the point where they had one fellow who was like, I didn't want to go on stage, I didn't want to mess up the show. You know, he was so concerned about doing a good job, right? So he gave up the whole point of him being here and the opportunity he was granted. He was like, I will sacrifice for the benefit of everybody else, right? But part of it is the organization had to show consistency, had to be there for the long term, had to show that they cared about them. Because a lot of young people, you know, they'll smell you out. They'll smell you out if you just kind of here to be like, we have a thing. We don't really care about you.
That's true.
And then they'll fire about that and they go on their own way. And then you're not going to keep them off the streets that way.
Because since the year 2014, right, people worked on my last movie, Boko. Yeah, people worked on my last movie, Boko. You get rid of that?
Yeah.
Right.
I have my phone outside and I don't know how that comes.
That's an alarm?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why alarms, so yeah. But yes, your last movie.
Yeah. I know you don't want to lose a contract, huh? So that is part of your contract. That's just a joke, that's just a joke, that's just a joke. You know, we had to be laughing and things. That's just a joke. Yeah.
I forgot that alarm.
So my last movie since 2014, right? People work at my last movie, still waiting to come in our next movie. Right, because I let them know, you know, alongside I have any upcoming movie, you know, I will have pick one or two guys. So they're still straight.
I mean, it can't be easy, right?
They're still straight.
Because it's not like you could do 6 movies at the same time.
No.
There's only one of you.
Yeah.
I guess that's the problem. Now the task is to figure out how do you duplicate yourself. That's usually what happens. Wow. When somebody is a pioneer, you know, it's like, how do I duplicate myself? Because it's only one of me. There's only so much hours in a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'll be real hard because, as I say, I come in with something called wesn. That's an app. I don't make it already. I talk with Bmobile. It's a big app. Will real big. Will help filmmakers. Will help a lot of people because the end of the run. I know I'm not bashing the government, but sometimes you go to the government for help. We don't have no money. We don't have no money. And I fed up hearing that talk over and over. And it reached in a stage I had to sell my vehicle. to finish a movie.
Right.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So it'll be hard, as I said, it'll be real hard. Sometimes when I look at my account, it's just going down and down and down and down. But when the movie drop and I make back money, right? I just take, in a line, about $3,000-4,000, put it in envelope, and I will go through town and handpick people and give. I'm not going to give no vacant my money. I just see people who want help. I will walk through town and see a girl with 2 child. I say she want help. And just get she the envelope, show watch me like this. I say no. That's why it is too. And then after, I don't know, I just see, I'm going to make a movie and I don't know, like Coca-Cola. I wanted to make the movie with this and I studying where I will get money. Boom. Somebody introduced me to Mr. Roberts, who sponsored the movie. He said, no problem. Boom, the movie complete.
I mean, yeah, this is. I mean, just the uniqueness of the project stands out. I mean, we're starting around the time, so I don't know if you have anything upcoming that you might want to mention to the public.
Okay, I have an upcoming movie called Your Choice. It's a very good movie. It's about school, the youths and them. You can learn a lot from that movie. It done finished already. It's in editing stage now. I'm hoping to drop it for August, right? And our movie That Fresh, we encourage the whole nation to come out and see it. You know, support your own, because you know, take time off to go and see the American movies. Take time off to come and see your own. They might see one of your friend or one of your ex-school mate, you know. So give it the support. That is the best I could say. Give us the support.
Well, hopefully the economy turns around. Yeah. Because I know this is WSN, this is television with a difference. I'm sure we would love to have local entertainment options produced here, but that'll have to be a story. You know, at the end of the day, the media industry is hard, film industry is hard. It's very hard. So again, congratulations for all the success. Congratulations on your first acting credits. Right? Looks legit, looks serious, dramatic actor, which is something I can't speak about myself. You know, I think I've reached the point where I'm like, I'm good with other people getting glory, right? I just would like to experience it now, you know, seeing this growth. Very exciting.
Happy for them. You have to be happy for people because you never know where they can end up out there too. You might come back and it's you to come to. Me?
Yeah, I might need a job. You never know.
Well, from what we went through here with you,
one hand clap.
This ain't gonna be the first time we come back. The last time we come in here. Don't worry.
We'll be giving away tickets. We get tickets from Mapao, Bridens. We get a lot of tickets to give away.
Yeah,
so, sponsored tickets. So look out for that and the challenge on the phone. The skating challenge, talk about it.
Yeah, what else?
No, the skating challenge, talk about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a skating challenge. We could do anything on skates. You could dance, you could whine, you could flip if you want. But you have to dance to the song track That's Fresh. Right? So, you could basically do anything on skates. Once you could impress us, right? You, the winner would be announced on what?
104.
104.
And 11th
of March. And
yeah.
Well,
we give away 4 tickets.
You know, the 12th of March movie is coming out. So.
And who knows, if they impress you enough, they might get a part in That Fresh too.
Well,
yes. You know, the secret weapon in our team.
Well, let's see. But that's a good thing too, because you know you're kind of promoting more, so people go talk and say, well, all right, if you're going to do so, you might be able to act our next movie. Because remember, this movie alone is going to reach far. That's going to be all over. It's not just one.
By the way, you might get so much interest. You could do That Fresh 2 in Trinidad and save Caribbean for That Fresh 3. I just say.
Yeah, well, anything. Well, how the mind swing, you know.
Yeah, because remember people answer the call already. Yeah, so you know something. I think I won the competition for fellas to buck up, because if we do get licks, we know to step up the game.
You know what?
I think that is what has given a little inspiration to do better. So
I feel like, and we'll end with that, not only having a film, but also having an avenue to compete. First of all, I think young people, especially young men and some young women, need avenues, healthy avenues to compete, right? learn how to succeed, also learn how to fail, right? If you fail, you're already looking at it constructively. And that's just another thing with the skating as well. It's, you know, so like I said, this movie is a 2-for-1. It's a local film to show people a different way. And what it's showing you, you could actually implement. It's not no pie in the sky means for our young people. It is a local skating scene.
About you, that other people want to win just like you, so you can't always win, right? So it just make you feel to do better. So if you lost, don't be vexed about it. Somebody else get, you going to do better in your life now.
Hey, look, you have a subsidiary operation now. You should go to schools. You should go and speak to schools. That alone, let them know. You can't always win all the time, folks. You can't always win. All right, great meeting you.
Thanks.
I hope to hear more. I hope that you survive all of the trial and tribulations that God will put forth for you, because that's what it sounds like. This is some serious callings here you're answering. And Mr. Andrews, same for you. Hopefully, examples of a brighter tomorrow. That's fresh in Movie Town, March 12th. March 12th, folks. Local films and more on the way. That is Mr. Roger Brewster on the end, director. That is Mr. Ronaldo Andrews, lead actor, Grimrock Family Productions. Keep an ear out, because I know this might be new to a lot of you. Try not to forget it. Check out the movies, and then, of course, check out the subsequent follow-up movies or the past productions, because we had to try and support and build our own thing. This is Talking About WESN. We'll take a break. When we come back, I'll close on the show. You could call in, have your say. Stay tuned.
In the Barataria skating ring. The ultimate test of self-belief.
Remember the little short red youth man for one top deal, boys, a man bringing them in. Boy, steer from them men and them boy, them men go put you in trouble. It's your home, boy. Come home. I know what you're doing. Boy, them men and them, you just want to be skating. That's a papi show, man. You're not dealing in a papi show.
You have a roller skating tournament happening in Barataria with phone.
Don't jump back out there, boy.
Come on, you are the style, you are the swagger.
Crazy. Show about that, man.
Already told you I cannot make it. We have plans for that day, right? Close back my gate, man. You just leave my gate wide open.
Brings us a climatic showdown.
I gave you 1 more week to deal with Byron. 1 week. I don't hear. I realize you're a serious youth, man. Right now, my land, the real training. Me, I could really do that money right now. No? Yeah, well, did the time fit a jump out right? You don't know.
Shifts the lives of many.
Lock down the back. Yeah, use a man go lock down the front. Hey, watch the DC thing by the world.
Who come together. For one goal. To win.
Junior going crazy. Whoa, what a performance, guys.
That's fresh.
Hi, I am Emiliana Beechan, and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, WESN Content Capital.
SM Group International Limited,
your solutions partner for the latest innovations, brands, and competent staff to meet your needs. We provide products and services in the following divisions: executive services, event rental and services, power and heavy equipment, construction and property management, food and beverage, aggregate and sales and distribution. Check out more on our products and services at www.smgrouptt.com. Contact us at 221-7445 or email at info@smgrouptt.com. We are SM Group International, your solutions partner.
I want to get a tattoo.
You really want
to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Our award-winning show is back, and this season promises to be even more exciting than before. What's Up, Doc isn't just a title, it's a call to action for anyone who wants to improve their health and well-being. Join us on this thrilling ride towards better health on WESN Content Capital.
I want to get a tattoo.
You really want
to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
We're back here and talk about the WSND Content Capital Show. Michael Small with you to close out the show. We just had a great conversation with Grimlock Productions, a local production, film production company headed by what I guess is a self-made, I guess is borderline genius, Mr. Roger Brewster, with the willingness, the faith, and not just to do a thing, but to put in the work to get it done properly, the attention to detail, in the social aspects of trying to do something for young people. With regards to a new local film that fresh amongst other productions. Not every day we're going to talk about film. This is only the third time I've had an interview with regards to a regional Caribbean film. First time that it's basically a sole Trinidad and Tobago production. I guess you could say Trinidad production or national production. It was good. It was good. I hope to see more. I hope to see more. There's a part of me that wonders if I was younger and we had a mature film industry, would I have loved to be involved? Probably behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. I don't know if y'all could take any more of me and my mouth. Now, we'll open up the phone lines for whatever it's worth. You could call in, have your say, but in the few minutes that we have left, I just want to continue the conversation with regards to the Brent Thomas matter because, first of all, I am shocked to the degree that I might be agreeing with one minister in the Ministry of Housing over this whole Brent Thomas situation. And I think he brought up a commission of inquiry. And there's a part of me that is not sure if it's necessary. The issue is not necessarily Brent Thomas himself and the nature of the case, although the nature of the case is probably bigger than you think. Probably bigger than I think, to deal with a private firearms dealer with allegations of criminal activity with regards to something as important with potential severe consequences as that is not something to be taken lightly. But on the flip side, it involves the people at the highest level of the police service and potentially the Ministry of National Security, as well as another government and jurisdiction. To what extent, we don't necessarily know. Now, it's almost somehow a matter of internal government public record has turned into a he said, she said. The file has gone missing, right? The victim has to claim to the press that he was kidnapped. The acting commissioner at the time is saying, well, somebody in the Ministry of National Security had to have done it. Minister Roberts is saying, well, I mean, you're not supposed to sign off on this anyway, right? Was he fleeing? Was he not fleeing? There's a lot behind this because, and I'll say it again, the implications of not having a good resolution on this Brent Thomas matter. Something jumped the shark. Something went beyond reasonableness in this scenario. And one of the things that's disappointing to me is that I feel not enough people care to get answers. And I'm gonna ask the question as plain as I could make it. At what point does something bad have to happen for us to care? Care enough to do something about it? Because even the Paria incident, did we really, as a nation, as a society, look to do something about it? Now, to some extent, there was public outcry, and that got us the Commission of Inquiry, I believe, right? You have to credit the then opposition as well, to some degree as well. They insisted on a Commission of Inquiry. You then have to credit the then government as well for agreeing to do it. That's minor. Releasing it, to some extent, that is not so minor, because it painted government employees or employees of a state entity not in such a great light. But we haven't necessarily seen a resolution to that. It's almost as though we just don't have the stamina to treat with important issues in the country. The moment that we feel comfortable again, we move on. And there's nothing to incentivize our leaders to actually solve problems to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Case in point, the Nikwan plant, there was an accident. It shut down the plant. And the following year, there was an accident. Only the second time somebody died. Now we have another state of emergency. Are we going to have issues with FUL dealers and the backstabbing politics of the industry? Who friends with who want the contract, who want to make the money, who's selling to who, and then who is the commissioner, who determining who get FULs, blah, 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 blah. This whole situation seems like a mess. And I guess part of it is who is going to be willing to try to untie the Gordian knot. Or at the very least, yeah, take the sword to the knot. But don't just kind of like look at the knot and tell us that there's nothing wrong with the knot. Maybe figure out a way to temporarily loosen the knot or make it appear as though it's loosened, but not actually untie the knot. We're in another state of emergency now. We just had the situation with Mr. Samaru's killing. At one point, we just couldn't ignore it. Oh, that was so bad. Look at what happened. How they could do that? You gonna do anything about it? No. So where's the change gonna come from? Sweet, sweet TNT. It's almost a shame I'm juxtaposing something very positive with something very negative in this edition of Talking Point. And I get it, you know, life goes on. But you know what? Let me take Mr. Brewster as an example. He's not just the director. He's not just the guy to source the sponsorships. He's not just the guy to do the accounts. He's not just the guy to balance the books, to do the procurement of whatever needs to be bought. He's not just the logistics guy, the planning guy, the operations guy. He's also the life coach. He's involved, he's invested, because he's trying to achieve something. And he knows that in order to achieve something, it's going to take a lot of effort. Because part of what he's trying to achieve is to fight against the negative influences of society. Well, if we want good governance, one of the things that we, the voters, we, the people, have to do is not just say we want good governance, not just tell the governments of the day we want good governance, but to whatever degree we can, fight the negative influences that causes us to have bad governance. We don't necessarily have lobby groups that exist to benefit society. We have unions and other lobby groups that exist to benefit individual financial considerations. We have civil societies and NGOs, but they only get so much support. They only are able to have so far of a reach. Their messaging only really embeds itself in the hearts and minds of so many people. Only so many people care to listen. And then less than that actually act. Maybe I'm preaching to the choir half the time here on Talking Point. You know, maybe a lot of you know it and you agree it. Some of you might think, you know, it's no longer my time. It's the younger generation's time. And that's one of the things, most of all, that I have concerns about. That there are not enough of the younger generation that is willing to step up, not to enrich their own career, not to figure out what the country could do for them, but the cliched what they could do for their fellow citizens and their country. Because notice when people want to complain about how things were done in the past. Yeah, we could point to past leaders. Yeah, we could point to past police commissioners, but they didn't do it. Whatever it is that they're accused of doing, it wouldn't have been just solely by themselves. Even now, the current Prime Minister, she doesn't do it solely by herself. It takes a team. The team is only as good as the people that are willing to serve. There's a lot behind it. It all comes back down to what I always say. If we do our part to the best that we can, where we could honestly say we've done everything we can, then we could, in full sincerity, in full knowledge of the truth, say, somebody else dropped the ball because we sacrificed, because we put out, because we put effort in. But I fear, you know, we already had media houses closed down. To what extent are we shrinking? And at what point will the citizens of TNT not even get third-party objectively reported news, which currently I do believe we do get it, at least to some degree. But there might be a world where we won't. And at that point in time, if we're apathetic now, well, once essentially news turns into only propaganda will be the only source of news we have, then exactly when do we think we will have fervor and passion then? When it'll be easier to kind of sweep things under the rug and pull the wool over our eyes? Because you have to be careful. You don't want to be alarmist. You don't want to compare your situation prematurely to extreme situations. But one of the things about a state of emergency is its emergency powers. One of the things that usually is the precursor to a dictatorship is an extended period of emergency powers. And when the emergency powers never goes away, all of a sudden, not only can you take advantage of those powers, but with that precedent entrenched firmly, you could erode democracy a little bit more, one step at a time. I won't tell you the examples in history where that was done, because those examples are so extreme, it'll derail the conversation. I don't want to do that. But I do want to say this is a slippery slope. The UNC could have all the best intentions in the world, and it doesn't have to happen with them. But the act of relying on a state of emergency, that sets a lesser precedent that could cause us down the road to basically see states of emergency as the only answer to our crime problem, as opposed to trying to figure out how to solve the criminal justice system so that we could treat with crime without a state of emergency. That's how it's supposed to be done. Other countries do it. Why can't we do it? We have expertise in so many things. We have capable people in so many fields. We have knowledge and skills in so many disciplines. International level success for a lot of our people. We have our products dominating certain international markets. The unique value proposition of our unique offerings. And yet, on so many ways domestically, we sell ourselves short. We're not as good. That's the implication. We're not as good. We don't know what we're doing. We're not saying it. Nobody is saying it. But the implication on how we treat with this crime problem is basically saying we really are not that good. We really are not that capable. We really don't have that level of skill. That's the implication of how we're treating with this situation. We have low expectations for ourselves. And then we want to wonder, well, why are things so bad? Mr. Brewster has high expectations for his people. And maybe that's one of the keys of why things for him are so good. Stay safe. Remember your allegiance to the Republic and to each other. It's nice to be nice. Be nice to all of those entrepreneurs and pioneers that are trying to bring new offerings to the people of TNT, trying to do new things here in TNT, to create new things, to develop new things, to advance new things. Be nice to them. They might create the job opportunities for your children or grandchildren of tomorrow. Until then, have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
WESN.
A pleasant good morning, everyone, a Thursday morning, and welcome to Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. I am happy to be back. This is an all-new episode of Strictly Legal, and you are here, I am here, we are blessed to be alive. Of course, you can stream us on WESN CC as well as all social media platforms, including our podcast at Strictly Legal with rondeldonowa.com. Of course, we are starting off with a new episode speaking about basically the recent Privy Council ruling when it comes to common law spouse entitlement with relation to a death of a spouse, a husband or wife, and the entitlement to the estate. And of course, we have two guests.